Question 2 on page 18 is asking us to find the equations to express the relations between x and y given in the following tables. So the equations I'm going to be writing are going to be in the form y equals mx plus b, where b is my y-intercept. So that's where my y value when x is 0, and m is going to be my slope. Another way of expressing the slope is the change in y over the change in x for a given relation between x and y. So looking at table 1, first thing I'm going to do is figure out how x and y change as we move between the points that have been given in this table. So looking at x, we can see that we're increasing by 3 in each of these cases. And for y, we are increasing by 1.5. And that stays constant. So to figure out m, our slope, it's our change in y over our change in x. So that's 1.5 over 3, as we can see from our table. And if we simplify that, it simplifies down to 1 over 2. So that means our slope is 1/2. The next thing we want to do is figure out our y-intercept. So like I said earlier, this is the y value when x equals 0. And from this table, it's actually set up quite nicely. We actually have x equals 0 in the table. So we can see that when x equals 0, y equals -5. So this means that b, our y-intercept, is equal to -5. So plugging this into our general equation, we get y equals 1/2 times x minus 5. And that's the equation for the relation in table 1. Now looking at table 2, we can do the same thing. And for our x values, you can see that we're increasing by 2 each time. And for our y values, we're actually decreasing by 4 as we move along. So m, again, is the change in y over the change in x. And in this case, that's -4 over 2. And simplifying that down just gives us -2. In this case, we haven't been given the point x equals 0. So what we want to do is plug in what we know, which is y equals -2 times x plus b. So we don't know b yet. And to figure that out, we can use any one of these points that have been given in our table. I'm just going to use this first point here. So this is the point x equals -1, y equals 2.5. And I can plug in these values for x and y into the equation I have, and then solve for b. And plugging in any one of these points should give the same value for b. So you can check your work by plugging in other points as well, but we're just going to do this one for now. So plugging this in gives me 2.5 equals -2 times -1 plus b, and that's 2.5 equals +2 plus b. So subtracting 2 on both sides of my equation gives me 0.5 equals b. So my full equation for this relation is y equals -2x plus 0.5 or plus 1/2. And that's the equation for table 2 and the answer to this problem.